Presented by EA Sports. Tonight we start Week 9 with a prime-time matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Houston Texans. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go now.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down. Now, the Eagles and Texans, polar opposites last year in terms of running the football. The Eagles were number 1 in the league. The Texans, 32nd, dead last. And in fact, the Eagles ran for nearly twice as many yards as the Texans did in 2021. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Play action now. Mills. And that is incomplete.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing, Mills. It's complete to Chris Conley. And he will step out of bounds here inside the 30. A huge play there for Houston. 43 yards. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. Does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, it makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Give them maybe a yard. Quite the opposite from the previous big gainer. The Texans at 0-7, winless to start the year. And they come in wondering what on earth is going on here.
And, Brandon, I reflect back to one time we had one of those deep philosophical talks about getting up every day and going to work and the whole deal. Can you imagine what it's like for this team? Every morning they wake up. They haven't won a game yet. How do they figure their way out of the...
Touchdown, Texans! Brandon Cooks, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy. because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. He'll get this one complete. That's A.J. Brown. And they work this well upfield across the 45. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. Room here to run. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really won.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Linval Joseph breaking free and dropping it.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Another try after the first down sack. Hurts. That swung out wide to Sanders. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys that
touchdown, Eagles! Dallas Goedert, 28 yards. And the Eagles are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Elliott good with a PAT. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
Play fake, Mills. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That goes for a gain of 31. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is, his ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. On first down, they'll stay with Mack on the ground. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. It was Josh Sweat who got him down on the defensive side. Now, this defense for the Eagles, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
Now a second down throw from Mills. He's got it to Collins, complete. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback? Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because they had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Second and goal from the 6 this time. To throw, Mills. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Brevin Jordan from 6 yards away. And the Texans have moved out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And by rule, that comes out to the 40-yard line, so good opportunity for this offense with solid field position. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Hurts to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's second down.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time looked well for a solid gain.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw. It's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Hurts sets up to throw it. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. So they were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Throwing is Hurts. Throw left side complete. That's Watkins. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 39-yard line. Converts a handoff to Sanders.
And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll go again with Sanders. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they're dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they're bringing your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
As soon as he leaped out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
The kick by Elliott is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
He's letting it fly for Cooks, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Mills to throw it. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. Taken right around the 44. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Sanders here as they run out of the gun. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. Left side here to Sanders. And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Let's go.
Hurts with a little pop pass on the jet sweep. And he'll be out of bounds. That one goes for 24 yards. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end of the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year as they have taken the lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Mills. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Another try after the first down sack. Mills got this into the hands of the tight end, Jordan. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Looking to throw is Mills. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10.
Let's go now.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
Here we go, here we go. 19 tight, 19 tight.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. And he fires one that's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And the Texans force the turnover, and they'll take over at the 10. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
And he's got room. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they got some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Hurts gets this to Sanders. He's got room at the 30. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
70, 70. 60 boxes, 60 boxes. Check, check.
Up the middle they go with Sanders. And a short gain here down to the 22. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Hurts going to take this himself. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts, a 22-yard scamper. And the Eagles take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Elliott on for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Makes the score Eagles 24, Texans 14. Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that leads you into bigger errors.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. On play action, Mills. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Devontae Wyatt in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Open man there is Collins, complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
A run up the middle with Mack. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Hassan Reddick coming through with a stop there and a tackle for loss to boot.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Now Mills. And incomplete on the deep ball. They have not gotten him going at all. Trying to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Mills. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. A first down throw for Mills. Buying time to his left. He's going deep for Brown. And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands but could not hang on.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
On 2nd and 10, Mills. He rifles one that's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Eagles will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Okay, break.
Off the play fake. Here's Hurts. He's got a man complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Shotgun snap and then the give to Sanders. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. They moved the ball over 50 yards between this play and the last one. Right back to Sanders on 1st down. Now the ball comes loose. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So potentially a turning point here in the 3rd quarter. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. From the 17, Hurts. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling the back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
And looking for a lane, but none to be found for Sanders as they stop him short of the line to gain. Sneak, it's Hurts. Yeah, boy, that's going to be close. He didn't get much at all there, but he got the first. Looked like they might have held him defensively, but the referee signals it will be a 1st down.
But when you do call quarterback sneak, you don't mind if your quarterback's a little bit on the vertically challenged side, do you? Because he's just going to hide behind his big guys up front and be able to surge forward and pick up the 1st down.
And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
Second down, back to Sanders. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Eagles are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Elliott now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17.
The score, Eagles 31, Texans 14. Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Texans take over 1st and 10.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Mills. Another one caught by Collins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down. A 3-score game here late. You could probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something.
This is intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the Eagles will take over here at their own 12-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
On first down, Hurts. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And the pick 6 we just saw makes things a little more interesting. Still, though, a 2-possession game as they control their destiny in this 4th quarter. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And some room to run now. And they will finally get him to the ground at the Texans' 23-yard line. And even 100 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Another run here with Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, a 21-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. To be frank, you really have to feel for them. This is appearing to not be their week yet again. So another loss in the cards as they trail big in quarter number 4.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Mills. And Mills is intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked up by James Bradbury. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They'll throw on 1st down with Hurts. And this is caught by Watkins. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. 2nd and 6. Hurts, he's going to keep this on the option. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like.
And Goddard's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Eagles take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Elliott good with a PAT, and the lead is now 24. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Adrian Amos with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. Well, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly. And what a benefit for them, able to pick that one off and hopefully put this game away.
And Hurts is intercepted, his third of the game. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this.
This is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mills now. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jaquiski Tartt. There he goes, right side. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. Well, he got pretty darn close to a 3-digit interception return for a touchdown.
And what we learn on plays like that is just how far it is from end zone to end zone. That's a long way to go, isn't it?
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Elliott good on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
He's going to let it fly. He's got a man complete. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. That reception, his 600th NFL catch. Congratulations, quite the accomplishment. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Throwing, Mills. Right side, complete to Mechie. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Well, the lopsided affair finally coming to an end. And really no shortage of big plays for us to examine, partner, on offense or on defense.